Okay, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon, good evening, whatever the correct greeting is for this time of the day, late afternoon. I know there's one or two people in particular. Advocate De Silva is trying to get in. I think it's a little bit with the registration is catching people slightly. And the others that I know will be watching this on demand, which we will distribute this recording tomorrow morning via the WhatsApp groups. So I'm just going to give it another 5 minutes. It's 18:01 now by my computer. Just give everybody another 4 or 5 minutes. I'll start at 18:05. For those that are on time, thank you. We won't delay you very long, and we'll kick off at 18:05. It's not going to be a lengthy session this evening. I don't think it'll be overly lengthy, probably about half an hour, maybe 40 minutes or so. But we will start at right, for those who've just joined just after 6 o'clock, there are just one or two people that are joining, still wanting to register on the link. So I'm just going to give them another 2 minutes just to get in. I know Carlos De Silva's just texted me and he's on his way into the meeting. So I think I just want to give them a fair chance. I'm sorry to delay those that are on time. Just out of respect for your time, we will start at 6:05. Fortunately, it's not an overly lengthy session. It's a very, very important session, critical session. But not overly lengthy because we want to get this video packaged and out. We've got a very nice turnout this evening, up from last week, which is fantastic. But we need to spread the word. So I want to keep the video this evening recording short. Want to package it and get it out there. And let's start spreading the word about what's happening. There's some really great developments, which we will share with you shortly. I'm just going to wait for Carlos. I will give him another minute, and then let's take it from there. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not going to wait any longer. Let's start and let's see how far we get before we're at a full house. Normally people arrive a few minutes late. But let me just, by way of introduction, just welcome everybody to what a fantastic turnout. Um, this is a project that I think those that have worked with me know this is very, very close to my heart. It is a very sort of labor-intense project, but for me, it really is a labor of love. I thoroughly enjoy the subject. It's been a lot of work to get this project to where it is, and through the support of so many people, and it's actually humbling as to how many people have supported me and been in so many ways, big ways and small ways, just incredible. And you can only stand on the shoulders of other people. And I think those that are here this evening form a very, very important part of that, particularly those that have signed and trusted me with their hard-earned money and their professional reputation and standing and understanding. We take those values very seriously. And yeah, in particular, just the improvement of professional standards and the maintenance of professionalism. Again, I've spoken at greater length in other forums, more appropriate forums about this, but I really believe that the place of the professional within any society, going back even thousands of years, there were versions of professionals always around, rendering services to the community, getting remuneration in exchange. But it's very, very important that we uphold and uplift those standards, and that we keep striving for excellence as professionals. And that is really the center of this project, the focal point of this project. Now, just with having said that, what we're going to do this evening is we're going to have a look at there are two real objectives for this evening. The one, again, is to introduce you to, we've been doing a lot of work behind the scenes on particularly the website and how the website integrates with the learning software that we have on the website. And we're starting to roll that out. And we're now at a stage where that is now available. And so I just want to introduce you to the revamped website, and also to the learning software in particular, which you will be working with during the next few weeks. And whenever you work with us on any training, you'll become familiar with that software. We're also becoming familiar with it, so please bear with us if there are little technical things here and there. We really are doing our level best to take care of you. If we don't get to you immediately, it's not because of any ill intention on our part or neglect. It's just that we have got a lot on our plates at the moment, and it sometimes just takes a little bit of time to get to you. But also, having said that, please feel free to reach out to me. I will liaise directly with the IT guys where we need their input and their assistance. But if you have any problem, I want to be aware of that, because we are at a stage where we're rolling these projects out, and I must be aware of what's happening on the ground so that we can deal with it efficiently and get the service up to the standards that we really want it to be at. So please don't feel embarrassed to get hold of me. The best is just to WhatsApp me, and that's an easy way for me to know that you're getting hold of me, and for me to keep a record of the fact that you've reached out, and for us to then try to address whatever it is that you need addressed. There are some very, very familiar faces here, and names. I can't really see your faces, but your names. I know what your faces look like behind the scenes. And welcome to all of you. Welcome to anybody who's new and is just interested in the project that we're undertaking. I believe it's a revolutionary project. I believe that there's nothing in the world that has been done as we're doing it, and integrating knowledge and learning and professionalism and professional training in the way that we've done it. There are lots of resources in the sense of books and now online resources, but that human element, that training element, and bringing a more rounded presentation and range of experiences for you as a participant is really what we're after. We want to use multimedia resources. So we believe in old values of professionalism, of hard work, of commitment to excellence, but we believe that should be integrated with real cutting edge what's happening, what's happening online. Tonight, you're going to see we're going to be dealing with AI, which is now the buzzword. Everybody's talking about it. And the legal system is going to have to react to AI, and already has started doing so. The legal system normally lags a little bit behind, because we all know it takes long to get to court, but it is already starting to give out some clear signals on how AI should be approached across the professions. There's a judgment on the legal profession and what legal professionals can and can't do with AI. In fact, there's more than one judgment, one main leading judgment. And it's also a very nice way for me to showcase the methodology and the approach which we use, and with our presentation software through the website will allow you to interact with what it is that we're teaching. So it's a very nice topic, but it's also a topic that demonstrates a couple of key concepts, as we're going to see in a moment. All right, I hope that everybody has joined us. I've given a bit of a general introduction there. I don't see Carlos de Silva's name on. Oh, there he is. There's Carlos. Let me just unmute him. And I'm just going to spend a minute or two chatting to Carlos and Romeo. And Dirk, if you're here, I don't see you, but if you are here, please just send me a WhatsApp and I will find you and unmute you. Carlos, if you can just unmute yourself and maybe just say a word or two. I just want Carlos to just address us briefly, because Carlos is a senior counsel, for those that don't know him, very well-known figure within the medico-legal community, a real gentleman, and has a wonderful gravity, which we'll see within a minute. And Carlos has been incredibly supportive of this project and given so generously of his time. You know what the hourly rate for a senior counsel is, and so I really value Carlos's input, and I would regard him as a friend, as a very esteemed colleague, and a fellow advocate, and I'm proud to say that. And Carlos has given a tremendous intellectual contribution to this project, and now he's going to take it up a level, and he's actually going to be one of the advocates who's going to be presenting on the 31st of January, the mock trial, which I will take you through, and how the mock trial dovetails with where we are now. And there's a whole process that all lines up, but Carlos is going to be instrumental, and I look forward to learning so much from Carlos on that day, as well as enjoying the experience. But Carlos, can you maybe just introduce yourself and unmute yourself and put your video on if you're in a location where you're comfortable and wearing what you're comfortable to do that, and just say a few words to us, please, Carlos.
Good evening, Ian. I wasn't expecting to appear on camera, but I'm still actually on holiday. And then when I saw we're going back tomorrow, but when I saw the invitation, I thought to myself, it's too good to miss. So I'm down here in Cape Town, and the sun only sets at about 8:30, which is actually brilliant. Thank you, Ian, for the opportunity of inviting me. You've touched on a subject that's become a pet subject to me, that's AI. I just want to make a few comments about it. I've spent some time, I must tell you, I thought AI was one of those magical things that look, you must remember, I'm still from the old generation. I'm pre-1994. So AI and technology is a bit foreign to me, but I've decided to try and embrace AI. You're quite right. There are two judgments. What's interesting, the one judgment is by Judge Besaidnert, if I remember correctly, from the Eastern Cape, and the other judgment is from Judge Smith. And what's interesting about that judgment is he, in fact, refers to an English judgment where English judge says what we say, what we've adopted basically in South Africa. So what the two judgments basically say is you are reckless as a practitioner if you use AI. My approach is totally different. And what I want to do, Ian, I've actually started compiling notes on AI. And before your talk on the 15th of February, I'm going to send you my notes that you can have a look and that we can share notes. But my attitude is that we should embrace AI. And obviously, I understand where the judges come from, that they're upset. What happened, what we must realize about AI, as far as the legal profession is concerned, is that AI knows nothing about it. I've tried a few times to get something from AI, and what AI does is it hallucinates. It gives you judgments that don't exist. I think it was about 2 days ago, again, I tried to get something on AI, and the judgments, he gave me 5 judgments, and those judgments don't exist. And where they do give a correct citation, it's not the authorities that they rely on. But I think it's something that if we're careful, look, even before AI, your basic principle as a lawyer, if you do heads of argument, you must make sure your references are correct. You draft heads of argument. You don't send heads of argument to a judge or to your opponent or in any court if your references aren't correct. So you must check your references. And I think that's the basic premise in using AI. If there is something said in AI, you must check that what is said is correct, and you must make sure that the references are correct. And what I'm not sure if you're aware, I'm not going to talk any further, Ian, but as far as AI is concerned, I'm not sure if you're aware there's a memorandum that was brought out by the University of Pretoria. I'll send you the reference. It's something, it's called Guidelines to Using Artificial Intelligence. And they've actually embraced the whole concept. They realize that there is many advantages in using AI, and they've embraced it, and they tell you how to go about doing it. So I think we're in a new learning curve. We're going to learn. I think you can accept we're now in 2026, and the legal landscape in 4 or 5 years' time is going to be totally different. It's going to be a totally different landscape. We're going to get many judgments, and we're going to eventually learn how to use AI. Thanks, Ian. I'm sorry I went off on my pet subject.
Not at all, Carlos. But I just want to endorse what you're saying. And actually, if you read particularly Elshaba Zaidnat's judgment, I just want to, just out of loyalty to my province, just point out that was out of the Pietermaritzburg court of all places. They call it Sleepy Hollow, but no, they're on top of they're at the cutting edge, and they are giving judgments on AI. And what she says is exactly your point, Carlos. You and I are old enough to remember. For the lawyers, they'll know that this is what we used to refer to as nota uppers, which is a thick book with all the cases and the sort of updated. Well, this is the nota upper on steroids, and I totally agree with you, Carlos. I think we're going to have to embrace it. It certainly is. It's here to stay. The professions have to deal with it, and the judges are already setting standards. And we need to be. The point of this now is to tell people what those standards are. So now we're talking about AI, but it cuts all the way across the whole medico-legal fraternity. When a judge makes a pronouncement as to this must happen and that must happen, it's not just idle talk. It gets the imprimatur, the stamp of law. When a judge it says something in a judgment, you are expected to comply with that. It's a source of law, and you'll see topic 1 of and what I'll take everybody through in a few minutes actually examines those sources of law. So what the judges are saying sets the standard for the profession is really the shorthand thing. So you've got to pay a lot of attention to what the judges say, and there's some direct comments from Elshaba Zaidnat and Judge Smith. But there are also indirect ways of ascertaining what the court wants, and you will see that we have a look at what the HPCSA says about the use of AI, and that's an indirect source of law because the courts will be very heavily guided by what the HPCSA says, even though it's not a direct source of law. Carlos, did you want to come in and just comment on anything there?
No. I just thought that you knew, that you saw my face, and that you saw that I was agreeing with you. So
yes, no, I thought, okay, no, excellent. Yeah, no, good. And Carlos, we will unpack this thing of AI. It is something that we take cognizance of. There are many threads within the medico-legal realm, but this thing of AI is something that we do watch closely. And Carlos, I look forward to working with you in preparing that mock trial on the 31st of January. It's going to be fantastic. What we want to do at the mock trial, we will go through the normal trial process, so opening address, leading evidence, cross-examination, re-examination, and then the same for the defendant's expert witness with questions, etc. But the real point of the mock trial is to bring these principles to life, because the point of the advanced expert witness training is to teach you skills So we go from the free. Those are here for the free training. You will get a certain level. It's not structured, but it'll give you some guidance. And then we take you up to the introduction. We're going to now launch an introduction to expert evidence, an introductory course, a very cost effective, very affordable course, and that will give you the basics of the medico-legal, what one needs to know. So it'll set the scene, if you like. And then there's the intermediate course, and those that have been on the intermediate course have been so kind in their comments. I feel very proud of that intermediate course and the way that it was received, and the tremendous feedback we got. There is a link on the website. If you go to the homepage, there are comments from the participants in the intermediate course, many of whom I see here tonight, and I know have signed up for the advanced training course, which is very, very encouraging. And then we get the advanced course. Now, the intermediate course goes into detail on the principles. We try and keep it practical, but we really go into the principles that assist expert witnesses to understand what it is that the courts expect them to do. So very important, we follow a very disciplined approach. We don't just say what we think should happen. We tie it very closely to the judgments and what the courts are saying. We are simply here to act as a servant of the community and to tell people what it is that the judges are saying. The judges are the important ones, and the expert witnesses are the important ones, and those paying them. We're just the medium by which we're connecting the two. So that's then the advanced course. On the intermediate course, in the advanced course, we then take those principles and try to get them to teach skills. How do you use this in practice? And I look forward to working with Carlos, and then I'm going to talk about Romeo. I'm going to introduce him and give him a minute or two as well, who will also be joining us. But that's the point of the advanced course. Romeo, it's very, very nice to see that you're present. I'm just trying to find your name. There we go. I'm going to unmute you, and then Romeo, if you can just say a few words. Romeo is going to also assist with the mock trial. He's going to be working with myself and Carlos, and we're going to go through that mock trial, and then just to say that the contents of the mock trial will bring to life the skills that we will teach on the previous week. Sorry, can I just ask people to make sure that they mute themselves? We've got let me just quickly mute these people that don't realize that they're on, I'm sure. Please just check to see that you've muted yourselves. I know that I used to know how to mute everybody, and I've forgotten how to do that. I'll remind myself how to do that. Romeo, can you maybe just introduce yourself and just say a few words, give us a bit of a background as to who you are, where you practice, particularly with regards to personal injury work, and let's just get a sense of who you are, Romeo.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you, Ian, for the introduction and for this absolutely excellent training platform that you have. Yes, I'm practicing in Pretoria. What I just want to say is I fully agree with Carlos. I also have a few AI tools that I use in practice, and yes, we have a very, very big responsibility in order to actually go check on your authority, check on what AI gives you, whether it's a drafting tool that assists you in drafting. Let's say, for instance, you've got precedents and pleadings as the source, and you draft a specific document. What's excellent, I mean, what's really our responsibility is to get into those specific authority and just make sure, because there is a lot of hallucination in AI at the moment. I also firmly agree that if you do not use AI, you will be left behind as a lawyer. I also believe that you need to use it responsibly, and that our duty is still to verify our sources and not just take everything cut and paste and that's it. I'm looking forward to the training and to the mock trial. I'm also here to learn and to contribute. Thank you very much, Ian.
Wonderful. Thank you, Romeo. And AI obviously affects the legal community, and Romeo is talking from the perspective of the advocate, but of course it applies to all of us. Every profession is grappling with AI. I know something of what's happening within the broader medical community, and we're all trying to get our heads around it. And I believe that what the judges are saying for the legal community can be very easily translated into any profession, but certainly medical profession, broader medical and allied professions. So, all right. So that and thank you so much, Romeo. Lovely to hear from you. Would have nice to have been able to see you, but I know that you maybe not up to your highly polished standards. So we will let you off the hook this time. All right. I just want to then take you through to the web page itself. Now the point of this portion of the tutorial is to familiarize yourself with the hubs that we're using. Okay, so we've introduced that now late 2025, and so that we can launch now early 2026. The main hub is the website, which you should see on your screen there, and I will take you through the website so that you can orientate yourselves around it. Please take the time to go and have a look at that website. It will help you to maximize what you're getting from whatever course you're involved with. Even on the free training course, your content is housed on the hub, and I will show you where to find it and how to use it now. Housed on the website, sorry, it's probably right to say the hub. The other important hub is the communication hub, which we use. We use WhatsApp, and we do use several groups. We don't use one WhatsApp group. We do like to split it to an extent. You want to keep a balance so we don't have too many groups. But the reason for that is that we are very respectful of your time as a professional, and we want to try to deliver focused content to your cell phone. We do not want to be interrupting you or sending messages that are not relevant to you because you're not involved in a course. So it does come with that balancing act of, we don't have like 100 WhatsApp groups, but we do want to have a WhatsApp group per course because of that reason, and it also means that we can then speak freely and tailor that content to the people that are in that course that are participating. So we do run several WhatsApp groups. That is the reason for it. So that's the second. The main hub is the website, and the communication hub is the WhatsApp group. We will communicate with you whether you're on the free training, the advanced training, intermediate, whatever training you're on. Then we've got an overall SAMLR WhatsApp group, which will then just that's for the broader sort of information to be relevant to the whole community itself. And then let me just take you through the I think success. Let me just quickly see if I can mute you. I don't think you realize that you success. Somebody where's success? Can you just mute yourself, please? Then we can carry on undisturbed. Okay. All right. Then let's just have a look at the homepage. I'm going to take you through the homepage. So we've got the main image, and then we've got a range of solutions. You can actually click on each of these pictures, and it will take you to the relevant portion of the website, which will then give you more information about whatever it is that you want. I will come back to that, so don't worry that I'm not taking you carefully through that now. I just want to make the point, from the homepage, you can actually go in and click to the relevant portion. There's expert witness training, there's monthly certification. I will unpack this in a moment, and then there are the textbooks as well. And then we've also got a few videos up dealing with people that have already trained with us or worked with us over the last year. In 2025, we've got Gavin Roberts, who's a very well-known senior personal injury attorney. He was shortlisted for the RAF board, and he's a very well-known figure within the Joburg and Pretoria attorneys circles. We've got participants from the intermediate training course, and you can hear from them what they have to say. The intermediate training course for 2025 was our first really big course and a big project that we took on, and I must say I was very, very pleased with the outcome of that course. So that was very pleasant to be involved with. And then we've got Herman Edeling, a very well-known doyen of medico-legal work in South Africa, and he talks about the quantum guidelines and gives some insight into the quantum guidelines. And then, so that is the homepage. Then you get to the expert witness training tab. The tab itself then sets out the various levels of expert witness training that we're going to be offering as from 2026. The first tab deals with expert witness training overview, and that will give you an overview, and I'll take you into that in a moment, because each tab has an accompanying video. So you can watch a video explaining what that particular tab is about, and to understand the offerings that we're making this year. So we've got the free training, the introduction to expert witness training, which is the course that I mentioned, the very cost-effective, it's a shortish course, but it'll give you your bearings. And then the intermediate training course, which we've had, which was held last year, and now the advanced expert witness training. That's sort of the elite course. Those that have come out of the intermediate expert witness training course, and it was an incredible group, a really, really high quality, high caliber group. And they've come, a lot of them have come out of the intermediate expert witness training and are now moving on to the advanced expert witness training. And that includes the workshop and then the mock trial that Carlos and Romeo and I were talking about earlier. Then there's the monthly certification. Now, what the monthly certification is that's current, keeps you up to date with current developments. So what's happening at this particular point in time? And if you have done training, it will keep you up to date with developments within the courtroom, what's happening with the legal principles that apply to your practice. We will deal with that. We keep our eye on a daily basis on what's happening in the personal injury sphere. And I'm going to just give you an example here of how this works. So if you go to the personal injury law current awareness, there's personal injury and quantum. Personal injury is more designed for the legal professionals, and quantum is more for legal professionals. Will obviously be interested in that, but we make sure that we tailor that more to expert witnesses and mediators. Both of those current awareness programs run concurrently, so you subscribe to both, but you choose which stream you're going to become more familiar with. We do that because when we talk to expert witnesses or mediators, we don't want to use jargon and sort of strange language. We really want to make it relevant to them, and that is how we approach it. Now, here's today's edition, and you'll see it deals with hospital records. And I know Carlos and I spoke about hospital records. He's arguing a case, I think, in the Supreme Court of Appeal. And funny enough, we spoke about Carlos addressing us on hospital records, and he's done research on it. It'll be a phenomenal opportunity. I'm going to try and tie Carlos down to that. And if we do that, I'm really looking forward to that. But you'll see there hospital records, and in particular in this recent judgment, what happened is that the discrepancy in admission dates in hospital records was dealt with. It's a good example of how we approach the law. You'll see it's different for the lawyers. It's different to the traditional head note style. What we do is we go in and we extract the principle, and we take that principle out and we summarize it, so that you then end up with a very short, succinct summary that you don't have to go and read the whole judgment. You don't have to read the head notes, etc. There's the relevant legal principle, and it's properly arranged and indexed and all that sort of thing, so you can easily get access to it. And there's the principle set out, and you guys can go and have a look at that on your. I don't know whether you'll be able to access this. It's probably behind the paywall, but I'll see what we can do to give some example videos or something of that nature over the next few days. Again, we'll put that out on the WhatsApp groups. And then, so that's the monthly certification. And then there's a section on the textbooks as well. That one of the tabs is on the textbooks. And here's the video. You just click down here on the play the video, and you can then watch. And there are videos dealing with the textbooks. And then there's a breakdown. You can go and look at the site yourself. A breakdown of the various chapters of the textbook and what we deal with in the textbooks. And I just want to double back and just show you, for instance, let's use the intermediate expert witness training as an example of how the website is structured. So we've got the intermediate expert witness training. We've got, again, you use the video controls there to play the video. And then if you go down from there, you'll see that in each tab, there's a recordal of the different lessons in that course. And then the learning outcome. So what is it that you're going to learn from that particular lesson in that particular course? And this is also dealt with each correlating video. And then you've got the benefit. And so that's set out with regard to all our training. You'll be able to see what the training is, what it is that we're going to cover, and how you will benefit from that training. And then I just want to take you importantly now to the courses and webinars page. This is where, for handy access, if you want to get to where it is that you want to interact, then you go to that page, the courses and webinars, and that will then give you the appropriate course to enter, and that will then allow you to access nice and easily. And then there's also just the shop page. I'll come back to the courses and webinars page and then enter it, and we'll deal with. I just want to show you what it is that I want you to do over the next few days in preparation. So if my computer is a little bit laggy here, but let's see if we can get onto the shop page. Oh, there we go. There's the shop page. That also sets out the courses, etc., so you can access from there. Okay, so let's just have a look then quickly at the courses and webinars and the advanced expert witness training. You'll see the different types of courses there. Depends on what you're wanting to access. Here's the advanced expert witness training, which is what this tutorial is about this evening. And you'll see that there's an introduction, and then we get to the course content, and that then is set out. That is set out in these different lessons. And as we go on, you'll see the content. I'm going to go, so introduction to the advanced expert witness training, and then using AI to assist in understanding case law for expert witnesses, etc. I'm just going to do this. And then you can expand on those courses as well. And you'll see there, for instance, if we go to this very first tutorial, so there's the introduction, then there's lesson 1, and you expand lesson 1, and you've got your various topics under that lesson. So there's the tutorial, and we'll go into that in a second. But to topic 1.1, sources of South African law. 1.2, the importance of case law as a source of law regulating expert evidence. And 1.3, reading a judgment with the help of AI. If you're expert witnesses, please look at those topics. I know you're probably thinking this is just for the lawyers. No, those topics are important for you to start getting an overall understanding of the importance of what it is that we're teaching you and the approach which the law takes. They're not very lengthy, but it's a very good investment of your time to start looking at it from the legal perspective, to give you that little bit of a broader understanding of medico-legal work. It's the medical profession and the legal profession, right? But also so that you can start getting a bit more confidence in understanding what it is that you're supposed to do and become a little bit familiar with case law. It shouldn't be something where there's just a barrier. I really think that intellectually we must not be timid. We must be bold intellectually. We must be prepared to engage with new topics and sometimes challenging topics. But the thing is to be properly guided and trained and led into understanding that. And that's one of the most amazing things about human beings, is that we can actually be trained, and we've got the most incredible brains and minds that we can then learn all sorts of new skills. And this is a very good example of how that can happen. And then I just want to take you into the tutorial itself. And now, as I said, this is an advanced level training, so we're not going to spoon feed you. We really, we want you now to start intellectually having the freedom to fly, free to fly. And so the materials that we put up there, there are 3 documents. If you go into, so here's the topic. You will then go onto the materials section. You'll see the documents on the materials section. The first document is a judgment of the High Court, which Carlos mentioned, which I mentioned, Mavundla. This is the judgment by Elsha Bezuidenhout out of Maritzburg. You'll see there E. Bezuidenhout J. And she then wrote this, really the first important judgment in South Africa on artificial intelligence, and it was given. I was surprised to see this given over a year ago, early in January 2025. I'd forgotten that, and time flies. But anyway, there's her judgment. Now, what I want, particularly the expert witnesses, to do is firstly just have a look at it. It's 28 pages long, so it's quite a lengthy document. And I don't expect you, if you want to read every word and you have the time, that's fine. But what I would really want you to do is to please, scan the document and look at the kind of depth and the detail and how the judge reasons, and familiarize yourself. Just have a look. I'm going to actually expand that onto full screen. Sorry, make it a bit easier for everybody. But yeah, have a look at what the judge, how the judge reasons it, and the level of detail, the attention to detail. When you get into court, it's very important as an expert to appreciate this. And here's the first example of what I'm saying. If you have reference to this judgment, it already helps you to prepare for your court work, because the lawyers will tell you, and the experienced experts will tell you, when you get into court, detail matters. And so even when you're taking your instructions, when you're starting and you're assessing and what have you, make sure you're paying attention to detail, because look at the level of detail that this judge is going through here. 28 pages, and this is standard fare. This is how judgments are delivered. And so for anybody that hasn't looked at a judgment, this will give you immediately an insight into that. And then see, and I haven't done this for you, but I want you to see if you can start picking up from that judgment the portion of the judgment where the judge sets out what the requirements are, the expectations of the court when it comes to using AI. See if you can engage in that. It is quite a high-level exercise for expert witnesses, but we're making this deliberately a bit challenging. It's not overly challenging, but see if you can just go through there and start identifying where, and I'm giving you a tip by pausing now, and you might want to make a note, but anyway, have a look at where the judge starts setting out what it is that the courts expect of legal representatives when using AI, all right? And then I'm just going to go through this. You see, she gives a background about paragraph 42. The use of artificial intelligence in legal research and documents has not featured much in our case law, except for the instance report in Parker versus Forsyth NO. So what's quite nice there, she gives a summary of the current legal position, and that can give you some confidence. They normally get that right, is that then there's not a lot of law on this. So now we're breaking new ground. And as I say, that was about a year ago. And as Carlos has pointed out since then, there's another judgment as well. And then we've got a lot of facts. You'll see another thing to be mindful of as you go through this, how fact-sensitive judgments are. You'll see how much of the judgment is not decided on like an abstract legal basis. The facts really matter. So it's important when we do our training and we take you through from the beginning, we will always emphasize the proper marshalling of facts. How you do that? How is it that, what do the courts expect expert witnesses to do when they marshal facts? There are certain principles that have crystallized in our law, and experts should be familiar with that, and so should legal representatives who deal with experts for obvious reasons. And then that then brings us through to page 20. There you see the judge's the name. She hasn't signed this version. This is a version that's publicly available. She doesn't have her signature on. But and then you see the date of the hearing and various other details about who appeared and who didn't. And De Wet SC from Maritzburg appeared in that matter. And there was a firm of attorneys. There was two representatives and a firm of attorneys that were involved in that particular matter. Okay, now let me just check what happens here. Now I'm busy testing my own knowledge of the software. Let's just check here. Yeah, there we go. So now we're busy with the materials, and I'm just taking you through the first one, which is the case, giving you an idea of what we want to look at there. And if you go outside that case and scroll down next to it, you'll see that there are 3 documents. Okay, now the second document that we're going to have regard to is a summary. And again, I'll put that full screen just to make it a bit easier. And here's a summary commenting on Mavundla. This was a few months ago, so it doesn't deal with the other judgment. But here in Mavundla, it sets out a summary of what the judge says and the most relevant paragraphs. Don't look at this particular summary until you've had a look independently at Mavundla. Don't cheat code it, because you're just going to lose out here. We're not going to affect your marks or anything like that. But then afterwards, you can go and have a look at that summary and see how it correlates with what you identified in the body of the judgment as to what was relevant and important. And then we've got a document which is the HPCSA Guidelines for Good Practice in the Health Professions, Ethical Guidelines on the Use of Artificial Intelligence. This has just come out recently. It's dated September 2025. This is the Health Professions Council of South Africa. And so every healthcare professional practitioner should be aware of these guidelines relating to artificial intelligence. The point of the exercise for the moment is not to go into the actual principles in the guideline. It is there. The point of including this particular, we will do that when we get towards that webinar in February. But what we want you to do now is to have regard to this as a source of law. And when you go through the training on the sources of law, you'll see that as I've said, this is an indirect source of law. This document will be very persuasive for any judge that needs to grapple with what the medical profession is supposed to do with regards AI. The HPCSA has been described in a senior court in South Africa as setting the standard, the body par excellence of setting the standard of professionalism in South Africa. So the courts pay very heavy regard to HPCSA. I know the HPCSA is roundly vilified sometimes in some quarters. A lot of complaints about the HPCSA. Whatever your private or views are on the HPCSA, the fact of the matter is the HPCSA plays an important role in regulating the broader healthcare professions. I'm not saying whether they do a good job or a bad job or commenting subjectively on it. The fact is what the HPCSA says the standards of the medical profession are will be taken very seriously by the courts, and therefore it is incumbent on practitioners to understand what the HPCSA is saying. And then there's the document itself. As I say, one can have a regard to that document. I think you should, particularly if you're a healthcare practitioner, medical practitioner, and you're using AI, you must be familiar with this document. But as I say, that's not really the point of the exercise this evening. All right, so that then gives you hopefully an understanding of the website, of the different ways that you can engage with the content that we're delivering, that we're producing, and give you like a bit of a guided tour of that website. As I say, we will make this video available via the various WhatsApp groups tomorrow. I think we'll disseminate it quite broadly. We'll put it on the free group and on the main SAMLR group, and probably on the various training groups as well. We will make a decision tomorrow about that. But we will widely disseminate this because we want people to understand how to use all of the information. As I say, at the end of the day, what we're doing is there are those old values. Carlos touched on it. Those old values, but it needs to be packaged in a modern way. We need to take advantage of the modern way that modern technology allows us to interface with this tremendous amount of information which is coming our way. And it's my view that AI is in fact a reaction to that deluge of information coming our way, and it's actually a way of accessing and organizing that information, provided it's done properly. So that is my real giving my bottom line away. Yeah, that's my take on AI and how it should be used. But once again, I thank you for your time. If anybody has registered for the advanced expert witness training course and you can't access the material, I know Komotso had a problem, please reach out to me. I'll sort it out. I'll sort it out at the longest within a few hours. Almost immediately, if I'm at my desk, I will give you guys access to it and you can go through that material. Other than that, I'm really looking forward to preparing and presenting these courses. We've got some really exciting content on its way. And I'm going to wrap it up there for now because we will have opportunities to engage in other forums. Thank you to Carlos and to Romeo and to everybody that's attended. Please spread the word, let people know about this. Please feel free to share invitations, to share the video, etc. Have a lovely evening. And from the Kingdom of the Zulu, Hamani Gashle, we will see you next time. Bye-bye.